What I want to talk about right now, I just came back from the gym. Uh, I was there for a little while, and something that I noticed was there were no fat people. Nobody there was fat. Uh, Everybody there was in shape or trying to get in shape. They were either lean or maybe one or two people could have lost 5 pounds, maybe. But what I realized about that was in a country where 60% of the population is fat, there were no fat people in the gym. And what that tells me is that these people made a deliberate choice to be there, to stay healthy or to get healthy. Um, and those sorts of deliberate choices says a lot about the character of the individual. Um, I go to the gym probably 5 days a week, and I see the same people over and over again. Um, and on the surface, it could be like, oh, I'm seeing so and so again and again, but you got to think about it in this way: like these people all share a common value system, and that value system is I care enough about myself to maintain my appearance, to maintain my physique, um, and that says a lot about the person. Uh, but that only not only says a lot about the person, it says a lot about their relationship with themselves, with their parents who brought them into this world, but also their ancestors. You got to think about it, man. Our ancestors went through hell for us to get here. Like most human beings that have ever lived died. They died. And the handful that did make it, that did survive, what even surviving, like it was a life of hell. It wasn't an easy life. Like we take this for granted. I'm on, this whatever, this camera. I got a laptop in front of me. I got a microphone next to me. These lights, whatever. Like, but the vast majority of people did not live easy lives. They're exceedingly difficult. And so, for you to go and to ruin your body, in essence, for you not to take care of yourself, I mean, you're basically spitting on the graves of all the people, all your ancestors, and also mankind, in the history of mankind. And I know we don't think like that, yeah, right? Because human beings, by the very nature, tend to be, self-absorbed. But if you zoom out and you think about the history of humanity, that's what it's about. And it also goes with what you leave behind, right? Like the quality of the work that you leave behind. If you leave garbage, then other people are gonna have garbage to consume. But if you write a great book, write a great symphony, if you dance well, if you let's say you're some sort of an engineer and you develop, I don't know, the next invention that facilitates people moving from one place to another. Henry Ford and what is it, the assembly line. I mean, it goes on and on, right? Then not only would you have been pushed, humanity forward, but your time on this earth would not have been wasted. I've wasted a lot of time in my life. Wasted a lot of time, and I've done many things right, but I hadn't realized to what extent I had really just been sort of puttering along, and I didn't understand the implications of that. My mother carried me inside of her for 9 months. My father busted his ass so that I could have a decent, life and a decent education. And so for me to turn around and waste my life is just, I mean, it's an insult to them, but not only to them, to their parents and the people that came before them. So what I'm trying to say with this is, you got to make it count, man. You got to make your life count, because otherwise, what's the point? What did all those people struggle for? And this is just a channel for men. And you think about it, men have, a father, right? Masculine love is wisdom. It is, it's the passing on of skills. It's the physical contribution to the society. That's how men love. Men, it's the sacrifice of time and energy and maybe even your life for a higher purpose, the greater good, the perpetuation of the human race, for posterity, for your bloodline, for your village. Not in a self-sacrificial way, but in a way that says, all right, if I'm going to lose my life, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die for a higher cause. I'm going to die for God and country. I'm going to die for my beliefs. I'm going to die for my higher ideals. There are men, I live in New York, and there are men that, I saw this documentary about the Brooklyn Bridge. There are men that are actually in the base of the Brooklyn Bridge. Skeletons are still there because they died at the base of the East River, building that bridge. So literally, when you cross into Brooklyn or into Manhattan from Brooklyn, you're actually, the Brooklyn Bridge was literally built on the bones of dead men. Men that fell from skyscrapers. Men that, died in the tunnels in the subway. I mean, not to mention, going back even further, men who died taking this place from the Native Americans. And the Native Americans that died trying to defend it. Like, all that shit that's all tied into our history. And what I'm trying to say is, we as men have to make the most of our lives. It just has to be that way. Otherwise, what did our forefathers sacrifice for? Why? Why did they do all this? Why did they build all this? Why can I ride a subway today? Why can I record on this camera and on this microphone? Because Thomas Edison sacrificed 100,000 hours of his life or whatever it was so that I could do it. And all the men in his factory worked and tested out all the different filaments for the incandescent light bulb and rebuilt the factory after it burnt down and had all of these inventions and all of these innovations in it evaporated. I think about that every day. And although I wasn't directly related to Thomas Edison, we as men are related to one another. Yes, there are different ethnic groups. Race isn't real, but yes, there are different ethnic groups, different tribes. But if you really think about it, Socrates is no less my father than a Greek living in Greece today, right? I can still read him and get that wisdom, get that fatherly love. And our country has, I read somewhere, our country has father hunger. Fathers are being ripped away from their kids. Women are being weaponized against men. The whole system is fucking designed now to put a wedge between men and women. It's crazy. Like, if there was one thing in this world that is the most creative and the most beautiful thing, it's men and women coming together and they're making a family. That there is nothing more creative than that, because human beings are infinite. I mean, a human being can create. A human being he's limitless, and to create a limitless thing is in and of itself a limitless act. It is an infinite act. It is a continuum. But when you make that more difficult than it needs to be, when you deter the parties from meeting and creating, you in essence destroy the very reason to live. So what I'm saying is, it's like a long thing, but the base thing you can do is to be healthy. That's like the base thing you can do, is to take care of your body, because no one else is going to do that for you. I was a personal trainer for years, and people would work 100 hours in their job and not want to do 5 more push-ups, which is crazy to me. It's fucking crazy. People would pay me $150 an hour and then go smoke. It's nuts. And so, as men, the very least we can do is to take care of ourselves physically. Because there will come a time when we'll have to defend our loved ones. There will come a time when, you know, maybe we don't have the energy, the testosterone, the whatever to do the things we wanted to do. But if we've taken care of ourselves up to that point, then we're much further ahead than every other 60 or 70-year-old who didn't. You know, playing with your grandkids or whatever. So, I hope that helps. Be good.